key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Man, Stephen Covey just hits the nail on the head sometimes, doesn't he?
He really does.
It's so true, though, right?
Yeah.
And that quote perfectly sets the stage for our deep dive today. We're talking all about practical strategies, real things you can do to boost your productivity.
Okay, love that.
And we're pulling all of this from the insightful piece, how to increase productivity by 10x in 2024. So are you ready?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Let's unlock some serious productivity power. Let's go.
I'm ready.
All right. So the article really emphasizes making those intentional choices, not just working harder. It's about working smarter.
It's really about maximizing the output that you're already putting in. It's not about doing more. It's about being more effective with what you are already doing.
I love that. So let's jump right into one of the foundational principles here, something we've all probably heard of, the 80-20 rule.
Yes.
That idea that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts. But, okay, in theory, sounds great.
Right.
How do we actually put this into practice in our daily lives?
Well, it's all about kind of pinpointing what those high-impact tasks are. And think about it this way. If you could only accomplish 2 things today, just 2 things, what would make the biggest difference in your day? What are the things that you could do that will move you forward? Those are your 20%.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So it's not about just checking things off a to-do list.
Yeah.
It's about those high-impact activities.
Yeah.
Now, the article even suggests, applying this to your inbox, for example.
Yes.
Instead of just trying to respond to every message,
Yeah.
prioritize those emails from, your most important clients, the ones that really matter, the ones that are really going to drive business.
Exactly. Instead of getting bogged down by every single email, you look for those emails that really make a difference.
So we've identified those high-impact tasks. We know what our 20% is.
Right.
How do we then ensure that we are bringing our A game, we're bringing our best to those tasks?
Yeah.
And the source talks a lot about time blocking and deep work.
Yeah.
I've played around with this before. Scheduling blocks of time for focused work and then separating out time for emails and meetings and things like that.
Right.
But what really makes this approach so effective?
So when we are engaging in deep work, what we are doing is we are tapping into a state of flow. And you know that feeling, right? It's where you are so completely absorbed in a task that, time just kind of flies by. You look up and, 2 hours have gone by, but it felt like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
The article even goes into the neuroscience behind this. It says that when we're in a flow state, our brains are releasing neurochemicals that actually boost our focus and creativity.
Wow. So it's like a mental workout almost.
It is. It's a brain workout.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, now, even with the best intentions, even if we're time blocking, we know what our 20% is. There's always so many other things, so many little tasks that seem to bog us down, right? And that's where automation can come in, right?
Automation can be our best friend.
I will admit, I love the idea of just letting technology handle some of my to-do list. That sounds pretty appealing.
Absolutely. And the beauty of it is that it really does free up your mental space to focus on those really creative tasks, the ones that require more of your strategic thinking. And the article highlights tools like Zapier.
Oh, Zapier is great.
You know Zapier. So Zapier can basically connect different apps. You can automate things like sharing a new blog post to social media or adding new email subscribers to your CRM.
Oh, wow.
And it just does it for you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So I challenge you to think about the repetitive things that you do every single day.
Yeah.
Could you use a tool like Zapier to automate some of that? For example, could you automatically send a welcome email to a new subscriber or schedule those social media posts in advance? You don't have to do them all the time.
It's amazing how much time we could save with those little things.
You really can.
Now, sometimes, even with automation, it just feels like there's too much on our plates.
There really can be.
And that's where the source suggests maybe considering delegation, which I know for some people that could be a tough one, right?
It can be.
Letting go of control is not always easy.
It's true. Delegation can be a real challenge for a lot of people, but it's also incredibly empowering when you actually do it. The key is to recognize that you don't have to be a superhero.
That's a good point.
You don't have to do it all yourself. You can leverage the talents and the expertise of other people, whether that's delegating tasks to team members or maybe outsourcing some things like research, scheduling, or even graphic design. There's so many talented people out there think about what you could achieve if you suddenly had 10 extra hours in your week.
Oh, what could I do with 10 extra hours? That's a powerful thought. Now, it's easy to get so caught up in the tactics and the hacks and everything like that, that we forget that productivity isn't just about that. It's also about taking care of ourselves.
That's so important. And the article dedicates a whole section to health and energy optimization, prioritizing sleep, getting enough exercise, and thinking about what we're eating. That's not just about feeling good. It's also about fueling our productivity.
I love that. Fueling our productivity.
Even something as simple as a quick 15-minute walk in the morning or swapping out that bag of chips in the afternoon for some almonds, those little changes can make a huge difference in your energy levels.
That's so true. And, while we're on the topic of focus and energy, can we talk about digital distractions?
Oh, please.
Because, oh my goodness, those notifications and the endless scrolling, it can be a real productivity killer.
It really can.
Yeah.
And there are some really great tips in the article about how to combat those distractions. Things like using apps like Freedom or Cold Turkey. These are apps that help you block specific websites or even just apps for a set amount of time. So if you're working on something and you know that you're going to be tempted to go on social media, just block them.
Oh, I like.
They're gone, out of sight, out of mind.
I love that.
And then also, don't underestimate the power of a clean and organized digital workspace.
Oh, yeah.
Decluttering your desktop and your inbox can do wonders for your mental clarity and help you to focus more.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, kind of going along with the self-improvement theme here, the article also emphasizes the importance of continuous learning.
Yes.
In today's world, things are changing so fast. Staying sharp, keeping our skills up to date, it's so essential.
It's more important now than it's ever been before. Even if you could just set aside 30 minutes a day to learn a new tool or technique, that can have a significant impact over time. That could be watching a quick tutorial, reading an industry article, or even listening to a podcast.
Like this one?
Like this one, exactly. Small steps lead to big results.
Okay, so let's talk about something that's a little bit harder to quantify, but equally important. Mindset.
Okay, yes.
The source really highlights the power of a growth mindset, which is, viewing our failures not as the end of the world, but as opportunity.
Yes.
And it also talks about celebrating our progress, no matter how small. It can be so motivating.
It is, and I love that. Instead of getting bogged down by setbacks, we can choose to see them as valuable feedback. It's like, what can I learn from this? How can I adjust my approach? That's really the essence of having a growth mindset.
So we've covered a ton of ground here, right? From prioritizing tasks to optimizing our health to cultivating that growth mindset.
We have.
What does this all mean for you, the listener? What's the one big takeaway?
I think it's that even implementing one or two of these strategies can make a real difference in your productivity.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine where you could be a year from now if you picked one of these things, just one, and you consistently applied it.
That's a good challenge. What resonates with you most from today's conversation? Is there one strategy that you're going to commit to trying this week?
Give it a try and see how much more